I predict we're not too far away from brownouts and blackouts, ladies and gentlemen. But, of course, it'll be after this administration is done, because it takes time for the damage to take hold. Mark, what are you talking about? From Michael Bastash at the Daily Caller, EPA rules to force 85 coal-fired generators to close by the end of this year. Energy companies are preparing to shut down nearly 16 gigawatts of power by the end of this year as the deadline for compliance with new federal environmental regulations loom. Some 85 coal-fired generating units at 36 locations are expected to close in the coming months, part of the EPA's regulations. The largest set of retirements set for June when electricity demand starts to peak. As Americans turn on their air conditioners for the summer, most of these retirements will come from coal-fired power plants in Appalachia. So, it seems to me the people in Appalachia should be rioting. Seems to me the people in Appalachia should be rioting against an oppressive president and Environmental Protection Agency, targeting them and putting them out of work. Yes, maybe that's what we need to do, Mr. Producer. Maybe the EPA needs to tell us how many people they've put out of work based on race. Yeah, let's get that report. There's Appalachia, people being put out of work. We're currently showing nearly 300 GWs of in-service and coal capacity. Okay, whatever. U.S. electricity markets are traditionally balkanized, so if much of these retirements take place in a small region, the balancing authorities in those areas will have to plan accordingly. In other words, they won't have anything to balance. Obama said he's going to force electricity prices to necessarily skyrocket. He is. He's going to create massive inconvenience. There are going to be brownouts and blackouts. It's just a matter of time. Energy consumption increases, and they're taking these systems offline. Here's people being put out of work, businesses being put out of business. Nobody voted for this. This is a 5-4 phony decision, Massachusetts versus the EPA, a complete setup. The justice who wrote the opinion is gone. He was appointed by Gerald Ford. Carbon dioxide was never a pollutant, yet he opens the door to a radical EPA to treat it as a pollutant. Never. It's still not a pollutant. And so in the name of regulating carbon dioxide, they're shutting down businesses and industries and driving up the cost of electricity. Have you looked at your electricity bill lately? It's much higher than it was when Obama came into office. And we had a hard winter. I'll bet your electricity bill is through the roof. I'd call it oppressive. Reminds me of Selma. So it goes on. So they're shutting down our industries, the industries they don't like. I remember when the Democrats, I've said this before, would claim to be, self-aggrandizing, but that's the way they are, would claim to be the defenders of the coal miner. Remember that? You know this clown Trumpka who runs the AFL-CIO? He used to be a lawyer for the miners union. Now he's a complete sellout. He's bought into Obama's radical Marxism because he's another slob who feeds from the Obama trough.